I'm assuming right now that I am live. My husband is banging around back there making soup because he has to eat. He has to eat. Okay. Everyone needs to eat. You should see I ate a delicious cherry turnover today. And I see I got him one also because that way I can say, "Oh, I got you a turnover." Yeah, it's not just for me. All right, let me see, let me make sure that I'm actually live. Because, yeah, it says I am. It says I am. It's not always accurate. Okay. This says I am. Let me just make sure everything is set up here so that you guys get a live chat replay when this goes back, like when it plays back. All right. Let me do subscribers. Okay. And then this. How is everyone today? There's a lot going on, and we will talk about it. There's a lot going on Etsy. There's a lot going on outside of Etsy that is going to affect things. It's kind of a hot mess. But the main thing, hey Bill, National Raccoon Day. Okay, the main thing is National Raccoon Day. Not that wasn't really the main thing, but Bill, our moderator, says that it's National Raccoon Day, so I will take your word for it. Bill is our moderator. His screen name is Holidays Lane. You must do what he says. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so first of all, today is the big change on Etsy. I have, honestly, I haven't seen, I don't know that I've seen any big change. I haven't even looked. I went over to Etsy before, and when I'm saying the big change, this is the day that they're implementing for US sellers for domestic shipping in the US. So don't worry, if you're international, you're shipping international from the US, this does not apply to you. If you're not in the US, this does not apply to you. Yeah, I mean, who knows? They can change things anytime. But if you have shipping that is $6 or over, Etsy says that you will not be prioritized in search ranking. Okay, so basically they're saying they're going to do the same thing where if you have shipping under $6, then you'll show up better in search. And I think that they have probably enough stuff that they will not show you in search on the first page if you don't have shipping below. Now, the exception to this is if you use calculated shipping in the US, the post office rates. Okay. The other exception is if you're shipping internationally from the US or if you're shipping into the US from a different country, this does not apply. This does not apply to that. This is only for US to US addresses and that kind of thing. So that's the one thing that is different today. And I went over and looked, and I definitely saw things on the first page. I did a few searches for things that I thought were large and would be difficult to ship for under $6. I looked at wreaths because everybody's always talking about wreaths, and you have to ship them in a big box. And that costs a lot. Those oversized boxes can be pretty pricey to ship. So I looked at a couple of those, and on the first, most of the results of the things that I looked at had a lot of free shipping listings on the first page of the search results. But there were definitely some that did not ship for under $6. And there were definitely a lot that did not ship for under $6 that were from other countries. So, I think what you need to do, I've said this before, is have look at your own stats. And I told people in my public Facebook groups is to look at the stats and see if your visits are down. See if your visits are down, because that might mean that Etsy's not showing your listing as ranking as high as it used to. And this is only if your shipping is over $6. If it's $6 or over, just wait and see what happens. Because if enough people don't change their shipping, you might not need to worry about it. But if you do see that your visits and views drop, then you might need to reconsider doing something about your shipping costs. Now, is that something that you want to deal with on Etsy? Maybe not, but you have to take it into consideration. And is it something that Etsy is going to leave in place? Again, maybe not, because they might find out that limiting the stuff on the first page of search results to free shipping and under $6 shipping gets rid of a lot of the best listings that people buy a lot. And we have to wait to see. And that's what happened when they did only things that only the things that ship free will be on the first page of search. They backed off of that pretty quick because their GMS dropped across the site. They didn't make as many sales on Etsy because they were getting rid of a lot of things that had a shipping price and putting them on page 2 where nobody looks. Okay. But those were the things that people want to buy, and so they just weren't buying as much. So we'll have to wait to see. We'll have to wait to see. This is Jan says, I actually think they've been doing the search restriction for a while now. It's possible. I mean, I think that basically what there's a few things that are going into this. Basically, what they're doing is, they've always wanted us to ship everything for free because they just think that people will buy more if they don't have that extra step to add in another fee at the end when they're in the shopping cart, which makes sense. And I mean, there have been times on Amazon where I've gone on there and I'm like, I'm not paying that much for shipping. Forget it. I'll just drive up to the bookstore, right? So people do tend to do that. Um, and if Etsy knows, I mean, we know that people want free shipping, and we also know that people know that it's included in the price, right? But then if you jack your prices up to include the cost of shipping a lot, then you might not be able to do that because it makes your prices look uncompetitive and the whole thing. So there's a lot that goes into this. But this is just another way for them to try to get us to do free shipping. Essentially, that's all. Also, with Etsy they have this, beta program. I don't know what are they even calling it? It's like the Etsy, I don't know, it's like Etsy Purchase Club. I don't even know what they're calling it, but they're trying to get people to pay to be an Etsy shopper. And one of the deals in there is that Etsy will pay for the shipping. You get free shipping on Etsy. Okay, but if Etsy is over here trying to coerce all of us into having free shipping, they're not paying for anything anyway. The seller is still paying for it in the price of the item if they forced us to put free shipping on everything. So, that's probably a part of it. I don't know. Um, it is tricky as a seller to do free shipping because if somebody wants to return the item, you have to refund the whole thing, including what was originally the price of shipping, which is now in the purchase price. So if you move the price of shipping into the item price, you have to refund that if the customer wants to send the thing back. Etsy Insider. Okay. Thanks, Bill. But Etsy Insider. Okay. I don't know how that's going. And I doubt that I doubt they'll tell us. They might tell us if it's going well, they'll mention it at the Q3 investor presentation, which is probably going to be at the end of the month. If not, they won't say anything about it. They'll just say, oh, we're still testing it out. And then they'll let it fade slowly away to drift into the atmosphere and never be heard from again. Okay. Like all of the #1 American Idol winners. For some reason, if you win American Idol, it's not good. There's only a few that have really gone on. I can think of 2 that have really gone on to be, have good careers. Otherwise, you want to be #2 or below, right? Can anyone say Adam Lambert? I don't think he won, did he? Okay. Who's had the best career since that? Maybe him and Carrie Underwood, right? Okay, I don't know how I got on this. Carrie Underwood did win, I believe. Yeah, Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood. Those are the 2. Bill saying, unless you're Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood. And Adam Lambert, but he didn't win. Didn't he get knocked out? I have to look this up now. Where did Adam Lambert place on American Idol? I think he was like #4 or something. It says second. Okay, how did he get second? And my husband says, don't forget Clay. See, he was also second, right? So you don't want to win. But I think Clay Aiken and Adam Lambert, and this has nothing to do with Etsy. This is just me talking. Okay. Y'all can enjoy that. If you don't like it, go get a snack, go take a break, bathroom break, go get a snack because I'm going to talk about this. Oh, Jennifer Hudson was third. Okay. So Carrie and Kelly, I think, were the only 2 first place that I can even remember. All right. There's also Scotty McCreery. I think he won. And the only reason I know him is because my daughter was in love with him when she was in middle school. you know, but that was, I don't think he's done much since then. Um, but anyway, yeah. So, but I always think you don't want to win American Idol. You want to be second at least. Okay. Because I think then they're not pushing you to do stupid albums, right? When you win, they say, okay, now we're going to make you into a celebrity and we're going to make you sing our stupid songs. And if you don't win, then you can do whatever you want, and it usually works out better. That's right. Um, yeah. So Bill says, see, great minds think alike. Bill says, when you win, you're locked into the contract. Number 2 and 3 are free to do what they want with their careers. That's right. And we always say, oh, Ruben stuttered. Ruben stuttered had a great voice, but he won. Oh, we don't know where he is. He had a great voice, and I've seen him since, with Clay Aiken doing some stuff, but nothing to the level of Clay Aiken, who has done a lot of theater and stuff. Anyway, okay, let's get back to Etsy. Although that's much, much more interesting. Um, okay, so there's the shipping thing. So just keep an eye on your stats. And if it looks like your traffic is dropping a lot, then you might want to go in and adjust your shipping. But just wait, because we don't know if it's going to stick around. We don't know if this stupid rule is going to stick around. We also don't know if they're going to expand it, because they did say that at this point, the what is it? The calculated shipping is not included. And then it says at this time. Okay, that's ominous, because that means that they could do something and say that even if you have calculated shipping, it's not free. So, and it said something about we're looking for ways to make calculated shipping more fair to customers or something like that. And I'm like, how could that be less fair? It's what the post office actually charges for the service to deliver your package. I don't know, but anyway, they did have something about that in the language that they used when they were talking about it. So just watch out for that. Okay, the other two things that could affect, business is, number one, this hurricane that came through has wiped out a whole bunch of land in North Carolina and Western Virginia and Tennessee, I think, and like down the coast of Florida. There's still post offices that are not functional. So just check before you're sending anything to that area. Um, and I think that a lot of people will not order things if they can't get mail. I would hope, but don't be afraid to reach out to customers and say, "Are you getting your mail service? Is everything okay?" And just ask out of concern, and they'll let you know. Okay. The other thing that I think is going on right now, and again, I'm going to look this up, is the ILA strike, which is, I don't know if this is going on now. It's a port strike for the dock workers. Oh, it's okay. They're on, I think they're on strike now. Okay, yep, they're striking on Baltimore and the East Coast, East and Gulf Coast ports. This is a big deal. Okay, this is the International Longshoremen Association, I think. Okay, the longshoremen are the guys that work on the docks. They load and unload the boats. They have had a dispute, and the media is making it look like they're just looking for a giant raise. That's not what's going on. Okay. They apparently renegotiate their contract every 6 years with the docks. So I don't know who they're negotiating with, but they had a contract that said these ports will not bring in automation. Okay. And they did anyway. So they violated the contract. And this is how I understand it from watching people online who work there. Okay. So I'm sure there are nuances that I'm missing. But they basically said that they don't, like, there's automated loaders and unloaders, which is going to get rid of jobs, obviously. So they had in the contract, you cannot use the automation, and they did anyway. So now they want that removed, and then they want an increase in wages over the next 6 years or something. It's not like an immediate increase, but you're going to see a lot of media talking about this. And if you really want to see what's going on, you need to go in and look at multiple sources to find multiple perspectives and actually see what's going on, because you're just going to get fed one line based on somebody wanting you to be mad at them or not mad at them. But regardless, if they're on strike, then nothing is being unloaded at the ports. When things don't get unloaded at the ports, we don't get supplies. Grocery stores don't get food. Shops, just regular stores don't get products to sell. Prices will probably be going up a little bit unless they resolve this quickly. It's going to go up a lot if they don't resolve it quickly. And it's going to be kind of like a pandemic era shutdown, because if they're not there unloading the boats and putting containers on trucks, nothing is moving. Okay. So that I have not heard anyone talking about that in relation to having a small home-based business, but I think it is something we need to be paying attention to. So what I would do now, since Christmas is coming, this is a big deal. Okay. Order your packaging supplies now. Okay. Because if this goes on for any length of time, it's going to delay everything, and your suppliers are going to be out of supplies to sell to you. Order what you need now for Christmas and have it. So don't wait, because we could be going up to the holiday season with a lot of shortages like we had during 2020. Okay. And Jimmy says, for the love of Jesus, just give them a raise. Yeah, I say give them a raise, but also there's more to it than that, apparently. So, and I'm glad they're pushing back on the automation, because that gets rid of a lot of jobs and that hurts their workers, just I don't know if you guys have seen, the video of the president of the ILA saying, people don't know what a strike is. When my guys go out on strike, we will ruin you. Basically, he's like, nothing will move. So he's right. He's right. So go ahead and order it all now. Order it today. Order it right after this. Order it while you're listening to me. And I need to order some stuff too. So that reminds me to do that. I got the Uline catalog yesterday, which is delightful. And I'm going, oh, I need to actually order something from Uline. I know I get the Uline catalog every 3 days in the mail, but okay. So those two things, there's the hurricane, there's the strike, and that is going to make a big difference. How long that goes on, it will affect us. So order your supplies now. There's the shipping thing. There's normal Etsy glitches. Apparently Etsy, I don't know what is going on, but in the last 3 or 4 days, I've seen multiple people say that they go onto Etsy, they're clicking around in their shop, and suddenly they get a message that says, you've been locked out. You're typing too fast. You're a bot. And they're like, what? Okay, I'm not. I'm a human and I'm typing as fast as I normally do. So Etsy has apparently turned up the AI bot detection for fast typing and is locking people temporarily out of your accounts. What? Okay, that's a new one on me. And they are banning buyer accounts. I've heard a customer saying they banned my account for no reason. I don't know why. And they're also still taking down handmade listings and saying that they're not handmade. It's just, it's beyond frustrating. There's nothing you can do because they don't give you an opportunity to appeal it. What the heck? Oh, who's calling me? Oh, probably Mr. Spam, but it's on my cell phone, so it doesn't say. Anyway, okay, so I think that's the only thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's just yeah, it's just the normal Etsy glitches other than that I've seen. And then the only question that I had from the members of the channel, and if you have a purple star next to your name, then you're a fabulous channel member. Thank you. And the only question was how to get people to sign up for your email list. Okay, so on Etsy, now, if it's anywhere else, you can put sign up for my email list. Here's the link. Do it now. You can put that anywhere. Okay. But on Etsy, you can't do that if you're trying to lead someone off of Etsy to shop. And there's a very fine line with leading people to your email sign up, because if you give them a discount code in exchange for signing up, which you usually have to do, most people are not going to sign up to get emails unless you're giving them something in return. So there's a fine line. If you're trying to get people to sign up and you're taking them off of Etsy to sign up somewhere other than on Etsy, which they can't do. Okay. So what I used to do, I've taken all of the signups off of my Etsy shop because I don't give that discount out except on my website anymore. I do a 20% discount for signing up to sign up for my email. And people can use that as many times as they want. It does not expire. It's not a one-time use. But now it's only good on my website and Goimagine. I do not make it good on Etsy because they are harassing me to do discounts for abandoned cart and return shopper and all this kind of mess. The only coupon I have active now is the abandoned cart coupon. Oh, and I also got that bundle two things or bundle more things than one and put that in an offer. So I did that today for a few things, but I only did 10%. So Etsy doesn't get more than 10% off. There's no reason to. Okay. But what you can do is put like in your shop announcement, you can put, sign up for my email list and get X amount off. Here's the link. They will not be able to click on that link. It's not a live link, but they can copy and paste it. And you can usually get that link at your email service to take people to a form that they can then fill out to get the coupon and to sign up for your list. However, you have to make that coupon good on Etsy. Okay. Is because number one, I've seen people say, oh, this is a strategy is you steal Etsy's customers, have them sign up for your email list and then only make the coupon good on your website. Okay. Number one, that's fee avoidance. And that's what you don't want to do that because Etsy could theoretically, if they ever decided to pursue that, that's one reason where they could shut your shop down. And I think a lot of the time, the things that they put in the terms of use are not really enforced until they feel like it. So just don't do anything that violates the terms of use just because they've never enforced it that you've heard of before, because that they could just say, oh no, you have that sign up and it takes people off of Etsy. So boom, you're dead. Your shop's gone. Okay. So just make sure the coupon, any discounts that you give is good on Etsy. Also, because people, let's say that I've put 10 things in my shopping cart on Etsy, and then I see that somebody has a discount. I go to sign up for it and it says, oh no, you can only shop on my website for that. Well, I'm not going to go over to your website and search for those 10 things and put them in my cart again. I'm going to be mad and I'm probably just going to abandon the cart because I'm like, I'm not buying from you if you're trying to trick me like that. So, but you can put that in the announcement section. You can put it in your shop listings. If you want to put it in the listings, say, sign up to get this. And I also used to use Textaful. I don't anymore for the signups because I just do it on my website now. But you can sign up for a texting service that is specific to your location because there's different laws for every different location about what kinds of commercial text can be sent. And usually people can text a word or a number to like just text this word to this number and it'll sign you up and then they can sign up for your email that way and get the code that way. So you can do that. And I used to have in my listings, US customers text this word to this number to get a coupon and sign up for my email list. So you can do that. You can put links in your descriptions for it. Don't use QR codes. There is something that showed up maybe 5-ish months ago that specifically says, do not use QR code. You can't use QR codes to take people off of Etsy. Now, I think that's because people were putting QR codes in their photos to go to their websites. But since Etsy specifically mentions QR codes in that section about fee avoidance, I wouldn't use them for anything on Etsy just because it specifically mentions QR codes. So I wouldn't use QR codes on Etsy at all. But once that you have the sale, you can put whatever you want in your packaging. So you can you can have little cards that say, sign up for my email list, get this much off, whatever. Put that in the box that you send the product to the customer to, and you can do that. It's a matter of putting it anywhere you legally can put it, the sign up link, and then people will eventually sign up. Now, just understand that if you have an email list, you need to email them at least once every couple of weeks and preferably once a week because people will forget who you are. They won't remember signing up. And when people don't email me and then I suddenly start seeing emails from them, I'm like, oh, I remember this person. I remember signing up, but they haven't emailed for a long time. So what's going on? So that always kind of throws me a little bit. But yeah, just make sure that you're sending emails on a regular basis, and you can schedule them ahead of time. You don't have to sit and make something up. But just don't wait 6 months to send out an email. I used to have an email class that went through the whole thing, and I think that that's in my monthly membership now. I think I moved the email information to my monthly membership. So if you're in that, that does become available at some point. I believe that I think that it's one of those times like you have to be in it for a couple of months or something before you get access to that, but it is in there. All right. I want to talk about one more thing. And for this, I have two little friends. Okay, so my first little friend. Now I'm going to have to switch to this. Okay. First, we have Walter. Okay. Walter is wearing his tinfoil hat. I want everyone to understand Walter has his tinfoil hat on. So while we're talking about this, just remember that there are tinfoil hats involved. Okay. So this is Walter with his tinfoil hat. Oh, come here. And then this is the one I feel the worst for. It's little Jesse with his tinfoil hat also. Okay, they both have tinfoil hats and they're ready to speculate. Jesse represents how we're all going to feel. I want to say when and if this happens. Okay. But we should behave like Walter. Jesse is screaming and petrified and terrified. My husband says Jesse looks the way he did right before the truck hit him. And that's probably accurate. Oh, okay. Walter is going to stop and think about it and actually give this some thought and plan ahead a little bit. Okay, so, but they're both wearing tinfoil hats. Just take a note of that. Now, what I want to talk about, and speculative, this is speculation. This is speculation. Let's talk about what Etsy is planning on doing soon to raise our fees, change the site structure a little bit for sellers. And there is something coming. In February, wait a minute. It says it changed my speakers. Now it says it changed it back. Let me know that you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Carlos Sue says, the moment when Kara brings out the stuffed squirrel puppet show, I know I found my people. Yeah, I could make them talk, but I think you could really know that I've lost my mind at that point. And you know what? I did have tinfoil hat merch at one point, but a few crazy people bought it. But then I was like, should I really be promoting this? Okay, anyway, I cut out. Okay, great. All right. So this is based on I have not been privy to all of these surveys, but I've heard about them. It's been posted about in the Etsy forums. People have written about these on outside websites because nobody follows NDAs. Okay. I have not said specifically what was in the survey that I did. And what happened? Okay. So in February, they sent out one survey. I think they sent out another one. I want to say it was at the beginning of September, maybe. It was about a month ago, maybe end of August, beginning of September. Basically, a similar survey from what I could tell. I did not take that survey. These surveys were asking questions like, would you pay $5 a month to sell on Etsy if this is what came with the plan? Would you pay $10 a month to sell on Etsy if this is what came with the plan? Okay, so basically, they're thinking about rolling out some kind of a tiered pricing system. I'm surprised they haven't done this sooner because most other platforms have some kind of like, free and you get a limited number of services. Then you have the basic, and then intermediate, then, high powered, whatever it is. And I think they're going to be rolling this out pretty soon. And I think that it is going to be a tiered pricing plan based on something that happened last week to one of the people in one of my groups. I'm not going to say who it was or what it was, but I think that they're going to be rolling this out pretty soon. And we collectively are assuming that that's what it's going to be, like some kind of a tiered pricing system where you're basically paying for a shop fee to sell on Etsy. And like, I'm not sure if it's just going to be one, two, or three. If there's going to be a free, I don't know. Nobody knows for sure until they release this. Okay, so get your tinfoil hat ready. Do not, do not be Jesse and freak out. Do not be Jesse and freak out. Yeah, like I mean, most platforms have some kind of a tiered pricing plan. Don't be him. Okay, he freaks out. He's a little reactive. Okay, he's freaking out. Be more like Walter. Poor little Jesse. That's the worst taxidermy also. I only bought him because I felt sorry for him. I looked at this and said, no one is going to buy that. Oh my God. And so I bought him because I felt bad for him being left behind. Anyway, be like Walter. Okay. Walter also has his tinfoil hat, so he's not sure, but he's just going to step back and kind of think about it beforehand. Because I know if you think about this, if they actually release a tiered pricing plan for Etsy, people are going to lose their minds. It is going to be a bloodbath for people losing their minds and acting like the world is coming to an end, when really what you need to do is kind of take a deep breath and step back and look at the plans they're offering and see which one fits your business, if one does. Because I think for some people, a tiered pricing plan might not make sense. And it just depends on your business. For some people, it's going to be like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. This one works. I'm going to sign up for that. For other people, it's going to be a lot more complicated, because if you're not making much profit on Etsy as it is, it might not make sense to sign up to actually sell on Etsy with that. So I really think that that's coming, and based on timing, because they have been talking about this since the beginning of the year. It's literally been since the beginning of the year. It keeps coming up in different forms. It's coming. Something's coming. Um, I think that they're going to release. I think they're going to announce it probably, and I'll go on record for this. I think they're going to announce it before, like right before the investor presentation for the Q3, or right after it. But I think that it's probably going to be right before it, because they like to do that kind of thing right before the investor presentation so that they have something to talk about moving forward. Because Etsy stock is in the toilet. I mean, it's dropping. Not that the whole stock market isn't, but Etsy stock is dropping, dropping, dropping. It's kind of hovering around at one low price. It's still a lot higher than it used to be, but it's not anywhere near what it was during the pandemic, that was overinflated. But if they go into an investor presentation saying, yeah, look at our stock kind of sucked, but oh, look over here, we've got this plan and this is coming up and this is very exciting. And we've done lots of surveys of sellers and they love this plan. Nobody's going to love it. Okay. But you just need to look at it rationally and looking at your numbers and do the math. You're going to have to do some math, figure out if it's the kind of thing that will work for you. And if it doesn't, then don't sell on Etsy anymore. That's basically what it comes down to. Because, people complain that Amazon fees are too high. Etsy fees might be too high for you. And if you don't want to sell on Amazon because their fees are too high, then it was the same thing would have to be on Etsy. So you're just going to have to, yeah. And Janet says maybe some of the bad actors will bounce off the platform. I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, that makes sense. If you charge people, and I think that's one of the reasons that they started doing the identity verification. And I know for a fact that the scammers dropped, like the number of scammers opening Etsy shops dropped for a few different reasons that I personally saw. But I think charging something makes you have some skin in the game. And the reason that people are on Etsy to scam is because it costs 20 cents to start scamming people. That's all. All you have to do is pay 20 cents for one listing, and you can start sending emails, like you send messages to people to scam them and the whole thing. So anyway, okay. Caroline says, do you think it'll be tiered pricing plus commission or flat tier pricing? I don't know. See, this is the thing. I don't know. They have, from what I've seen and what I've heard and what people have told me, they throw so many options at you that you don't know what the final form is going to be. But I think it's going to be some kind of paid pricing tier, and you'll probably get more benefits or maybe lower fees. Maybe more, like you'll be able to list more things. I'm just trying to think what do other platforms do? Like some platforms, like let's use Goimagine. Goimagine costs $2.50 a month for the lowest plan, but I think you can only list 20 listings. Is either 20 or 50. I don't know. And then the next tier up is $5 a month, I believe. It's not expensive, all right? But people still bitch about $2.50 a month. Okay. Um, but if it stops, if $2.50 a month stops you from opening a business, then it might not be for you. This is not for you. Okay. And if if you want more benefits, then you're going to have to pay a higher fee on most platforms. So I have to assume that's what it's going to look like on Etsy too, but no one is going to know for sure until they roll it out. If they roll it out, because remember, this is tinfoil hat speculation, and I don't usually like doing that on this Tuesday live, but I think the time has come because I've been waiting for this to happen since February and it hasn't yet, but I think that it's coming based on a couple things that happened last week. Okay. And Diane says anything to make it more serious, so to speak. Absolutely. See, that's the thing. If like I know for a fact that when I give someone one of my classes for free, they don't necessarily take it seriously. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. And when you pay for it, then you're kind of more committed to it, right? You have that in your head, like I just paid for this, so I need to make use of it. So, all right. Goimagine fees are a lot for a broken marketplace, though. I don't think it's a broken marketplace because I'm making sales over there and I'm not really doing anything. So, all right. Anyone else see a USPS holiday shipping rate? Oh, that's the other thing. USPS is increasing. They're starting their holiday shipping costs on October 6th. Prices in the US will be going up a little bit. You might want to go to the USPS website to get the straight answer. Pirate Ship, I use Pirate Ship. They said that they will not be increasing their rates, so they must be absorbing it. And depending on where you're buying your commercial labels, it might not make any difference to you, but you might want to just go and look into that. If you do ship things that are really large, then yeah, it might affect you. I don't know. But anyway, okay. That's all I have to say. What time? Oh my God. It was almost 40 minutes. Just a sec. And I better plug my computer in. Okay. Now it's question time. If you have a question, please post question in all caps right in front, and we can talk about what you guys want to talk about. And give this video a thumbs up while we're waiting. And that's it. Okay. Now, Jennifer suggests that Etsy also make their customer service better and stop taking down listings. But why? Why? What's the fun in that? What's the fun in having good customer service and letting us appeal listing takedowns? What's the fun in that? Okay, you know I'm being sarcastic. Okay, Jen says, question, if one of my items has a factor that is lowering my search visibility, does that mean it affects visibility for that one item, or is it affecting my entire shop? As far as I know, it's that one item. And as far as I also know, a lot of that is BS and you can just ignore it and it won't matter. So you have to look at that and see, is the amount of work that I would have to do to remake all of my photos so that Etsy is happy with them, even though that listing is selling all the time? Is it worth my time? And the answer is generally no for me, but it might, and if you look at all that language that they have in those notifications, this may decrease visibility. It might make it hard for people to see it on mobile. It could. It's all very conditional language. It doesn't say it will. So, and I think a lot of that kind of stuff is kind of like tiebreaker stuff. Like if there's two exactly the same, like everything is quality wise the same and pretty much the same listing, they'll look at one to see, does this one have a video? Does this one have 2,000 pixels across the top? But it's not, a lot of this stuff is not critical. And I don't even know why they're bothering us with it, except then they can then turn around and say, look, we've told sellers all this stuff about their search visibility and ranking. It's a, what does it say? A good exchange of value, a fair exchange of value is the phrase that Etsy always uses before they do a fee increase. So they say they don't increase fees until they give sellers a fair exchange of value in return. And I think that was what they were going, that's how they're going to justify a fee increase slash tiered pricing, whatever they're going to do. Something's going to happen, and they're going to use that search ranking, visibility as the fair exchange of value. Do we think it's a fair exchange of value? That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's just how Etsy can sell it. This is all marketing, you guys. Marketing is okay. PR is professional lying, and marketing is booze and guessing. Okay. This is all marketing, and it's all PR when you go talk to the investors. They just have to put a good spin on it. That's their job. That's the job of a company, is to put a good spin on what they're doing. And of course, they're going to tell people that sellers are very excited about this. All right. Question. As a first year seller, how do I anticipate how many supplies I'll need for the holiday season? That's hard to say, especially this year with so much stuff going on and off of Etsy. I would get more than you think you'll need, and then you'll probably be safe. And it's there's no way that you can tell, because every holiday season is different, but don't get less than you get. Say if you double your sales, how much will you need? Get that much. And if you don't double your sales, you'll just have extras. It's okay. And really, I mean, you shouldn't have different supplies now than you would at other times of the year, unless you're doing things that are specifically for the holidays. But just as far as the packaging and that kind of thing, you should be able to use what you buy now in the later next year. Okay, and Jen says pirate ship is increasing the priority rates a bit. Okay, so that's good. That's good to know. Okay, question. Anyone order something on Etsy lately? Supposedly the seller's name and address is on the credit card statement instead of Etsy's. That's interesting. Well, no, I haven't ordered anything on Etsy recently. Usually it comes out like Etsy Ireland or something. I mean, it's some weird thing. I think it's good to have the seller's name and address, because then people don't look at their bill and go, "What the heck is this? I didn't buy this." And if they see the name of your business, then they will probably remember what it was. Um, but that's why you get a post office box. I have a post office box just for return emails. Okay, comment. Just look at your statements and see how much you're already paying in a month for fees. Hundreds. Oh yeah. I think a tiered plan would be great, especially for budgeting. Well, I don't think that's going to be the extent of it, though. I think you're going to pay for the plan, and then you're also going to pay for fees. It's not just going to be one tiered plan and that's it. You're still going to have a payment processing fee. You get that anywhere. You're still going to have the Etsy fees. It's going to be in addition to the other fees. But you just have to look at it by the numbers, and don't let people freaking out, don't let people being Jesse and freaking out scare you. Just go and actually look at your numbers, because that's the only way to know whether it's worth it for you and what plan to sign up for. Okay. Question. Opinions on the new EU e-commerce restrictions. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah. Now, I don't know anything about this specifically because I don't ship to the EU, but apparently there's something going on, and it is in October. Doesn't it start in October? Where you have to sign, it's something if you're shipping into the EU, and for some reason Ireland is included in the EU for whatever geographical, political reasons. There is something about, like, you have to get, is it safety verifications or something? I don't know. If you ship to the EU, look into this. And I posted something about it in the both of my Facebook groups, in the eShop group and in the public group. So just go and search for that. But if you ship to the EU, there is something that you're going to have to do that's different. And I know a lot of people are like, I'm just not going to ship internationally anymore. And I don't ship internationally anyway at this point, because it takes too long to get there. People are mad. They get mad at me. I don't make that much money, or I didn't make that much money shipping internationally for it to be worth the hassle. So I just stopped. And I recently stopped shipping to Canada too, because I had one too many dummies buy from me and then get mad that it didn't get there in a day. Right. And I'm like, I don't need this aggravation. So I just don't ship internationally. But if you do, you need to look into this because I know that other platforms are giving you a way to fill out that information, but I don't think I've seen anything on Etsy about it. And the only reason I know anything about it is because someone posted about it in the Etsy forums. And I don't even know what I was doing in there. I go into the Etsy forums occasionally to look to see if anyone's talking about anything that I need to know about. They're usually not. They're usually just arguing about something. Um, but yeah, I don't have any opinions on it myself because I didn't take the time to look into it because I don't ship to the EU. But if you do ship to the EU, you need to go look into this to see if there's anything that you need to do because Etsy has not said anything about it. Oh, and the other thing is that Etsy posted in very helpfully. They always post like what to know in September, like the last day of the month. So there's something about Colorado that you have to, it's some kind of a sales tax thing or something or some fee. So if you see weird notations in your finance statements for an order that went to Colorado, it's one of those things where it gets noted but then pulled out and you don't even see it. So you might want to go and look at the Etsy announcement section in the Etsy forums, and it's the last item on that what to know for September on Etsy. And it'll explain what it is. But if you do see a weird fee and then it kind of disappears, that's what that is if it's an order that goes to Colorado. Okay, let's see. Question. Etsy is saying some of my items won't show up in search because they're collage photos. Yeah, okay, they're not saying it won't show up. Okay, see, people think that that's what it says. If you actually read it, it says you have photos that are collages. This could make it difficult to see it clearly on mobile. It doesn't say it's not going to show up. It just says that it might make it different. And yeah, it's not a collage. It's showing the front and back of the product. I would just leave it alone. I have some that are just like there are multiple items. And because Etsy's seeing multiple items in the picture, it's saying this is a collage. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not doing anything about it because it does not say it will not show up in search. It's saying it could be difficult to see on mobile devices because the picture's smaller. But if it's there for the customer and the customer needs that information, then leave it. See, sometimes you ignore what Etsy says. Often you ignore what Etsy says. You have to just read it and be clear what it actually says. And don't be afraid to ignore it. Okay. Question. What do we do when an order is placed and I go to print the shipping label the same day and Etsy is telling me that it may be late? You just ignore that. Again, this is another time when you ignore what Etsy says because that's absurd. That's ridiculous. And that's just it's a computer calculating times incorrectly. Hi, Brigitte. Yeah, there's just, okay, so Ireland is part of the EU. Northern Ireland isn't. It's something to do with Northern Ireland. I don't even know. You guys need to go look that up yourself. It's something weird. It's a delivery fee in Colorado, and it's something weird about Northern Ireland. So there's a few things that are happening that might make it confusing. The Colorado thing is just going to be confusing. It's nothing you need to worry about, but you might see it in your finances. The Northern Ireland thing might be different as far as you being able to ship to the EU. So just pay attention to that. Okay, question. Do unshipped items impact more of my listings being found and sold? I seem to get no sales if there are any unshipped items within processing time. When I ship all, I get a sale within an hour. Yes, I think they actually do. If you get orders piling up, then you don't ship them. And this you're starting within the processing time, but depending on how many there are, Etsy does pull back on showing your shop. And sometimes during the holidays, people get their shop put on in forced vacation mode. We call it forced vacation mode because Etsy says, oh, you're clearly not able to process all of these in the time. So we're putting your shop on vacation until you get everything out. And then we'll think about reopening your shop. Now, never, never, never never let Etsy put your shop on forced vacation mode. Okay. You need to vacation mode it yourself. If it comes to that, like if you have so many orders that you can't get them all out, just put your shop on vacation mode and get caught up because you can control that. If Etsy puts your shop on vacation mode, then you have to wait until they take it off. And that's up to them. So even if you get everything out, they might not open your shop again. But yes, if you have a lot of orders in the queue that you have not processed, it can slow your orders down. So just be aware of that and take action before Etsy does. There, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Question. Have you noticed a significant increase in buyers saying things marked delivered haven't arrived? I had several this week. I have not. Um, I have not. So, it is, I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I mean, sometimes, like, especially during the holidays when the people are busy out stealing packages, you're probably going to see an increase. I did hear somebody, I think it was in the eShop group, that a customer said, I didn't get the package, and she filed a claim with Etsy, and Etsy would not refund it because they said she had abused the system. So she's apparently not received a lot of packages. And it could be that she's faking, or it could be that she just lives somewhere where somebody steals her packages all the time. But the customers are responsible for having a safe place to put the packages. You can't just keep ordering things. I had one girl once. And she said, it says my package was delivered and I didn't get it. And I'm like trying to figure this out for her. And then she finally said something like, oh, this is the third time this has happened. All my Amazon packages get stolen in my apartment building. And I'm like, why are you having things shipped there? Like have it go to one of those lockers where you have to go and pick it up at CVS or something, right? Or get a post office box. If it's going to cost less than having to deal with this if somebody's stealing your stuff. So I told her to ship a box of garbage to herself and just leave it there. But if you have, if you keep getting packages stolen and you keep filing claims, Etsy will just tell you, no, we're not going to file this anymore for you, and you're on your own. So, um, there's that. Okay. And Jennifer, I don't know what you're talking about with the glitch with messages. I'm not sure if you're talking to me. Put question in front of it so I can see that's a question, if that's the issue. Okay. Comment. It's unfair that Etsy bases the 6.5 on item cost and shipping. Um, no, because a lot of people used to do like $1 for the item and $20 for shipping. And so they got around the fees that way. So that's the reason that they do that. Yeah. Let's see. Question follow up. I have one piece of furniture unshipped that I need. Okay, that I need a week to complete paint, curing, and ship time. Not on vacation mode though. No orders coming in since. If it's one thing, I wouldn't worry about it. Um, that's probably not affecting anything. But yeah, if it's a lot of stuff, then that could be a factor. It could just be that people are waiting to buy things. And you have to remember too that people tend to wait until Prime Day. If they know that Prime Day is coming up on Amazon, they'll say, "Oh, I need to get this, but everybody puts stuff on sale around Prime Day, so I'm going to wait to see if that happens." And then they kind of hold off. So that could be what's going on. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on. And it's impossible to decide one reason for things not selling or one reason for not getting sales, because there's just always too many factors to take into account. Okay, question. How do I structure my schedule when I have a brain that hops around like a squirrel on meth? I understand that. I have a hard time picking what to do first as I sell both vintage and handmade. Okay, Caroline, I understand. I woke up last night at 2:30 in the morning and I could not go back to sleep until about 4:30. So I finally gave up and I just started like looking at my phone. Okay. Um, what I do, this might help you, it might not, is just give yourself blocks do the time blocking thing. Okay. Say 45 minutes at a time. Don't do more than that. 45 minutes at a time, you're going to work on one thing. If you feel yourself moving in the direction of doing something else, just say to yourself, one thing at a time, and go back to what you were doing. Okay. At the end of that 45 minutes, go and shake it off, take a break, do whatever you need for 10, 15 minutes, and then get back to it. Okay. So that way you will get things done in blocks and don't work on things longer than you have to. I think a lot of times we'll say, if I'm going to work on this for 3 hours, and then after hour two, you're tired of it and you're dead and you can't process anything else. So just do 45 minutes at a time, then give yourself a break and really stick to that. And after a while, you'll get used to doing that and you will get things done. Also, get the most heinous thing done first. If you get things done first that you don't want to do, then you don't have that kind of looming over you every day. So yeah, just try that and see if it helps. And if it doesn't help you, try something else. There's all kinds of things that people do to get themselves to focus. But I think just the time blocking and really forcing yourself to stay on one task is enough. And 45 minutes is long enough if you can't focus for that long. Yeah. Anyway, okay, question. Etsy is no longer displaying the items that a customer can mix and match to receive a discount. I don't see them anymore. How do customers know what to buy to get the discount? Well, they show different things to different people, and they probably do show them to customers. They might not show them to you all the time. They do move things around to see what works best with people and what works best to get more sales. So even if you don't see it today, you might see it tomorrow. And I just got that feature today. Today was the first time I noticed that on my dashboard. So it's not even something that they've rolled out to everybody yet. And once it's a permanent thing, it probably will show up more often, but don't worry about it. It'll come back. It's like, people say on Pinterest, "Oh, I don't see what you're seeing." I was like, because Pinterest changes everything. They flip things back and forth all the time. It after a while you just give up and say, "I can't keep track. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. So I'll just work with what's there." And when Etsy is rolling out a new feature, that's probably what's going on. They're just taking things off and they're switching it around to see what works best. Okay, question. Can customers see the quantity available on their end? Even if you have 12 of something, and I never put more than two so people won't drag their feet. It depends what they want to show them. And like I went into Etsy search results today, and some things said free shipping, some things said returns accepted, some things said only two left. It depends. And Etsy only has so much room. Those are called nudges. Every single one of those things is for the customer, not for us, just to get the customer to buy something and encourage them to buy it now and not wait. So they show different nudges to different people. It's the same thing as moving things around with the offers. Like somebody said they put something on sale and suddenly the free shipping thing left, like the nudge for the free shipping left because it said on sale or something like that. There's only so much room they have. So, and you're going to see different things than other people do. If Etsy knows that you click on things if they're on sale, then it's going to show you more things that are on sale with that notification. If they know that you click on things that have free shipping, they're going to show you more things with the free shipping badge on it. So there you go. Let's see. You did your quarterly taxes and annual rent today to get it over with. Yeah. I hate doing my bookkeeping. Oh my God. And every I do it every 2 weeks. So at the first of the month, I do income because that's when I get my bank statement. And then Etsy is closed out the previous month. So I do income the first of the month. Mid-month, I do expenses because that's when I get my credit card statement. And it takes about 10 minutes. It doesn't take that long. But I dread it so much that I just like, oh, I can't do it. If you just do it, then it's over and you don't have to think about it. So that's good. Okay, question. How am I supposed to take notes when my cat is sitting across my chest? Isn't that the normal way to take notes? And I think every cat who is anywhere in earshot is like, what's the problem with that? Why are you so maladjusted that you cannot function when I am sitting on your chest? Because that is my proper place. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I have, I was going to say my shoulder hurts a lot all the time. And it's because I have the computer on my lap and then the cat gets on my lap. So I end up typing like this, like, because the cat's head is here and I can't touch his ears because then his ears twitch. And I know I'm bothering him and it's irritating. So I have my arm up like this and I'm trying to type and I'm doing like this. And then I'm like, oh, why does my back hurt? And it's pretty obvious. But anyway. Okay. Um, Caroline, do your bookkeeping once a month at least, and then when tax time comes, it's done, and then you don't have to put off doing that. Yes, I think about doing your taxes and having to go through a year's worth of bookkeeping. That's a nightmare. So if you do it that's why I do income and then expenses, not at the same time. Break it up. It doesn't take that long. And then by the time the end of the year is here, it's done because I know that it's done correctly because I've done it myself. I don't have to worry about missing anything. And it doesn't take very long to do your taxes if you don't have to go through a whole year's worth of records. That's a nightmare. Okay, I am going to wrap this up. Thank you. Everybody say thank you to Bill by giving him an emoji. Oh, you know what? This is my birthday week. I'm not going to tell you when my birthday is. But first, let's all spam Bill with the claw, and then I'm going to give away some memberships. Okay. Thank you, Bill, for being our moderator. I do appreciate it. I forget to thank you a lot because I'm just talking. But um, let me give away some memberships. I have, if you are not a member of the channel, now I'm trying to figure out what to click here. Okay. YouTube gives me 10 memberships that I can give to people every month. So I can give away 5 right now, and then I'll give away 5 next week. But you can give memberships to each other if you want to do that. If you want to be nice and give people memberships, you can do that. And if you want to get a membership, I think you have to, like, the more often you come to the lives and the more often you participate, the more likely YouTube is to give it to you, because I don't give them out. I'm clicking a button to give away 5 right now, and YouTube is choosing who gets them. There we go. Okay. And see, it says you could be a lucky recipient of a Cara Button membership with access to exclusive perks. And you have to click that allow gifts thing. You have to click that in order to have your account on YouTube be opted in to receive gift memberships. Okay. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good afternoon. Now I have to find the window to close this out. If I can't close it out, then I'll just have to go on forever. Yeah, but just don't be Jesse. Don't be Walter. Don't, you don't want to have a freak out. Why can I not find this? Oh my God. Let me go over here. I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just gonna have to end this, and we will see. It says you remember, but you don't have the emojis. Yeah, you don't have the purple star either. Who else had a problem with that? Jan saying she doesn't have that. Who else had a problem? Somebody else had a problem that said it was your member, but they didn't have the purple star. It might show up next week. If it doesn't, we can try to figure it out. But that's YouTube. That has nothing. I don't have anything. I don't have any control over that, unfortunately. But anyway, okay. I will talk to you guys later. I seriously can't figure out how to. Okay, exit, minimize. There we go. Okay. I'll see you next week. If Etsy drops anything crazy, I will do another live stream about it once I have a chance to not freak out and to actually look